As far as the XRP ledger vision, we need interoperability. Interoperability is going to be it's going to be what allows us to have customers. It's going to allow us to have an audience that we can market products to.
So our goal is to make XRPL one of the primary hubs for issuing and trading real world assets, starting with stablecoins and moving into tokenized treasuries as well. And so I think that you guys really have the reputation that's needed in order to bring on some of these TradFi institutions into the space.
Our vision is that we can make XRPL the leading hub for real world assets and stablecoin, given Ripple's unique advantages with the regulatory clarity and all of the relationships that it's built with financial institutions and enterprises over the years.
Between the combination of the two DEX systems to support any liquidity environment, the influx of new assets through Orchestra, we're really setting the stage to become somewhat of a liquidity hub or a central DEX across all of crypto.
So that's really our vision and our hope as we start to partner up with different interoperability players to really make the XRP ledger a hub for value transfer.
Welcome to the DeFi Standard, and this is Mickey B. Fresh. So today's video is going to be the first in a series of videos on key topics on the XRP ledger that I believe are overlooked or misunderstood, or people are just not aware of. And the first one is going to be interoperability and its impact on the future of the XRP ledger, XRP, and the XRP community. Every single one of these key topics are going to have an impact on all three of those things. At ETH Denver in February, RippleX announced a groundbreaking partnership with Axelar, a move that expands the XRP ledger's reach across 55 plus blockchain networks. This strategic alliance is set to revolutionize how institutions and users interact with the XRP ledger and enable it to elevate to a super DEX. So buckle up as we explore this fascinating development and how this is all possible. Cross-chain interoperability is a game changer in the blockchain space. And we're talking about more than moving your assets across a bridge. With Ripple's partnership with the Axelar, the XRP ledger is poised to become the ultimate liquidity hub for stablecoins, real-world assets, cryptocurrencies, and more. Axelar facilitates general message passing, which allows data and function calls to execute smart contracts across different chains without users having to leave their originating chain. This means that assets can be traded on the XRPL's super DEX by users or institutions on other chains seamlessly.
One thing we're exploring is leveraging cross-chain protocols and general message passing so that you can have your users, your primary tokens on mainnet, and then you can actually call EVM smart contracts from mainnet. That information will be routed back to the mainnet to complete the transaction. So that's a way that the two networks can be even more unified that we're really excited about. So that's really our vision and our hope as we start to partner up with different interoperability players to really make the XRP ledger a hub for value transfer, so that it doesn't matter if you're transacting on Polygon trying to buy an NFT, or you're doing some advanced, DeFi strategy on Ethereum. At the end of the day, if you want to swap token A for token B using the right cross-chain infrastructure, that'll execute on XRPL mainnet and land back in your wallet without you ever leaving the chain that you're on, and executing at the fastest speed and lowest price anywhere in blockchain. So that's a vision we're really excited about.
An intelligent routing application will always find the best price and deepest liquidity, which RippleX's head of product, I quote, says will be the XRP ledger. The goal is to integrate the XRP ledger into a network that spans over 55 chains by the end of May. And Axelar is positioning the XRP ledger as the global hub for real-world assets and stablecoin issuance.
I think there are two really interesting audiences that we both address, and it'll be a complementary relationship in that regard. You look at the DeFi ecosystem and what you guys are trying to accomplish with the EVM sidechain and the relationship between that and XRPL, the amount of depth and liquidity that Ripple has the capability to bring on, and what that'll enable for DeFi users and existing Web3 natives. And then you also look at institutional use cases and what this will enable for the distribution of real world assets. So our goal is to make XRPL one of the primary hubs for issuing and trading real world assets, starting with stablecoins and moving into tokenized treasuries as well. And so I think that you guys really have the reputation that's needed in order to bring on some of these TradFi institutions into the space. And then, Axelar can complementary be the distribution channel that allows users and liquidity that exist on all these other ecosystems to have access to those assets.
And today, XRPL isn't super well connected. So I think when Axelar connection goes live, you'll see an influx of a ton of users coming on chain to XRPL, and hopefully a ton of liquidity that comes with it. Like, our vision is that we can make XRPL the leading hub for real world assets and stablecoin, given Ripple's unique advantages with the regulatory clarity and all of the relationships that it's built with financial institutions and enterprises over the years. We'll be able to help bring on more liquidity available on the AMM, bridge it natively from all of those chains, so we can create more of like a centralized exchange experience on chain for users. We're working very closely with many leading financial institutions, such as JP Morgan and MasterCard and so on. And what we're seeing is they're all taking various different approaches. I think everyone will have a different strategy on how they approach blockchain, but one thing is for sure is that everyone will gear towards moving towards like a single liquidity hub, right? XRPL and Ripple is really well positioned to become the main liquidity hub for stablecoins and real world assets. And from Axelar's point of view, we're just really excited to help bridge a lot of these assets and connect with these private and public chains so that they can easily onboard and access the XRPL. Like, a DEX is really a critical building block in a thriving DeFi ecosystem. As for the community, I think, as we've seen, right, it's not an easy feat launching a new AM. The best thing that everyone can do is try it out, provide feedback, and also, when ready, provide liquidity to bootstrap the AMM. Only when like the AMM is the most liquid and most capital efficient will like other enterprise financial institutions want to use this AMM and bridge over their assets.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, exciting road ahead.
We believe this is going to be an absolute game changer for Ripple and XRPL.
Alongside this, Ripple's proprietary tech, Prisma, an intelligent liquidity router, ensures that all Ripple enterprise cross-currency ODL payment volume is funneled through the XRP ledger's DEX and its AMM liquidity pools. This integration maximizes efficiency and enhances the utility of the XRP ledger. To date, we've had bare minimal utility. A digital asset in itself does not have much utility. Its native network and its protocols or applications is where the utility lies. Centralized exchange trading is speculative trading of an immature nascent market. Everything is coming on chain. And with the addition of being able to execute contracts cross-chain means that assets can be natively minted onto the XRP ledger and burned on their native chain to pair into pools on the XRP ledger. And this is how we could get that trading volume with other crypto assets.
Between the combination of the two DEX systems to support any liquidity environment, the influx of new assets through Orchestra, we're really setting the stage to become somewhat of a liquidity hub or a central DEX across all of crypto, especially with fast transactions, low fees. So very excited about that future state once everything is fully up and running.
Yeah, maybe talk a bit more about how this helps with the DeFi and the RWA ecosystem.
So traditionally, bridging has meant just token transfers, in which case they are locked on a bridge on the source chain, and then wrapped versions are minted on a destination chain. And this has security risks as well as it creates other issues with fragmentation on the destination chain. And so what Axelar enables through something we could talk about, general message passing, is the ability to use native burn and mint. So we can burn that asset over on the source side and mint a native version of it on the destination side. And so a use case that you can imagine is that somebody on XRPL wants to be able to use the liquidity that they have over on Ethereum in order for them to access a loan or create access to a stablecoin, a US Treasury that's been issued on XRPL. And instead of actually having to move the liquidity and their assets over from Ethereum, instead we can just send a contract call to Ethereum that sends a message back. It's telling us that James owns those assets. They've been locked in a smart contract in order for you then to be issued a loan on the destination. And so the ability to create these more simplified one-click user experiences are what we need to really create more complex DeFi applications and onboard many more users to the space.
As I said a few months back, and David Schwartz has said, there's always three things that I at least saw that were needed for the XRP ledger and XRP's price to ultimately be driven higher from demand and network effects was premium stablecoins issued on the ledger. We got an announcement with Ripple's, which was bigger than we probably expected, but it's not shocking and is a super positive, and it paves the way for a bunch of other tokenized fiat to get launched, which is great because we want XRP paired in every possible pool because that's what drives demand. Simply using XRP in an ODL payment doesn't drive XRP price. RippleNet is getting pivoted finally to integrate directly all its products into the XRP ledger. They're trying to bring institutions on chain.
Something we are currently working on is actual integration of our payments application into the XRP Ledger's decentralized exchange. So that would be using the full set of capabilities of the DEX through our payments application.
They're going to adopt the ecosystem and the protocols, and XRP is the native reserve asset of that ecosystem. And stablecoins like Ripple USD will allow them to scale ODL even further and bring more institutions. So it's about creating network effects and creating an ecosystem, retail, institutional, enterprise. So besides stablecoins, blue chip premium cryptos brought over in a decentralized way, traded against XRP. XRP BTC pool or XRP WBTC pool, XRP ETH, XRP Solana. Those can have deep liquidity. As the more volume run through them, the more demand and to provide XRP as liquidity. And why? Because they earn yield. Yield is what drives the demand. An asset in crypto assets is not just going to be held because we think the price is going to go higher and others might use it. Bitcoin might be trying to do the digital gold thing because it was the first, but nobody else is going to follow that. You need to have more than just utility. You need to have native network on-chain demand for the native asset to be used by users and locked in storage demand while simultaneously providing a utility that's a service the network provides. So XRP Ledger, unlike dApps on Ethereum like Aave, MakerDAO, Uniswap, which could span across 10 other blockchains, 10 other versions of it, the AMM is part of the XRP ledger. It is not a dApp. And what does that mean? That means that its value that it provides in providing liquidity and the revenue it generates remains in the network and makes XRP more valuable and the network more valuable. Because as you'll hear Brian Brooks say, the value of these tokens is derived from their underlying networks and their protocols. What has Glenn Hutchins said? The value's in the protocols.
When I say it's like a stock, I don't mean it's literally like you own part of a company. I don't mean that. I mean it's like a stock in that the value of these tokens you're getting is related to the adoption rate of the underlying network. So when tens of millions of people are transacting Bitcoin, the value of Bitcoin goes way up. And that is why Bitcoin isn't going to stay at 20,000 a Bitcoin, right? Because more and more people use it. Same with a lot of other things. And so the focus is the value of the network is what drives the value of the token.
So the focus is the value of the network is what drives the value of the token.
Institutional DeFi, the third piece then we need is compliance. This is what will allow institutions to integrate either services for their customers to interact with DeFi applications built on the XRP ledger and or its sidechains, or they're going to build their own applications and services that cater to maybe other enterprises or to their clients or to new target market. It's not necessarily the institutions just doing it for them. They're not coming into HODL. And most of them aren't even coming in for crypto. They're coming in to tokenize real world assets and move capital markets on chain. But they can't do it in private walled gardens. And we happen to have a maturing, robust, growing on-chain financial system that's called DeFi that's already built and is more powerful than anything the traditional market has ever seen. And it was created without a dollar of taxpayer money. And it's open, decentralized, permissionless, and accessible to all. And at the heart of DeFi is AMMs and DEXs. So core primitive is liquidity, which facilitates the trading of value in different assets, as well as the cross-currency FX transactions between stablecoins. like an ODL. So the AMM is the super DEX because it has an order book and it has a liquidity pools and it has a continuous auction mechanism that drives additional revenue for liquidity providers.
Well, AMMs do offer advantages that are attractive to financial institutions. Automatic provision of liquidity, reduced counterparty risk, ability to earn returns sort of in a passive way. And so we're hoping that traditional financial institutions will be able to have enough of those types of features that they will be able to use, layer one blockchains like the XRP ledger and features like the automated market maker. So I do see that world where financial institutions will be able to leverage AMMs and other DeFi features.
And this demand to earn native yield and then receive a powerful new financial instrument or asset that has unique capabilities in the LP token allows users to extend their capital and gives them optionality to hedge, to leverage, to use and deploy in other ways while still earning the yield from their assets that were deposited in the liquidity pool. That's composability, and that's the power of DeFi. These institutions, their mouths are watering because DeFi is the closest thing to traditional markets.
The interesting aspect with decentralized finance is that when you come to think of it, this is the closest to traditional application of financial services, right? So these flows, they serve a commercial purpose in rendering a service in exchange for a payment. Well, these transactions and these flows can be measured and discounted to a value or compared to other services using comparable analysis in order to determine if one is more or less cheap as compared to the other. When you come to think of it, decentralized finance is probably where most of the, I would say, commercial interest behind digital finance will be developed over time, I would say.
We need to be thinking derivatives on chain. Think EVM sidechain, complex derivatives based on real-world assets, tokenized assets, lending and borrowing, AMM liquidity pools. Then you could use the LP token as collateral, because if you could tokenize something, like Zoe Cruz said, it's more valuable because you could use it as collateral. The price will go up, the value will go up. It's going to take some time, and along the way, you're going to either generate wealth or you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Those who learn and educate and put in the time and effort because they realize this is rapidly evolving and new innovations mean opportunities for those who are at the forefront. And we're going to have an abundance of opportunities. And yes, they do come with their risks as an ecosystem is built up, but with compliance will bring decentralized digital identity that will bring privacy and enhanced usability and access.
Integrated automated market making in addition to the order books based trading system. So trading and value transfer is definitely a sweet spot there. But when it comes to more complex operations or highly specific financial protocols, that's not the sweet spot. And the XRP Ledger community doesn't necessarily want it to be. So that's where we can really lean on our Axelar partnership, use general message passing, and actually allow applications to develop their tokenization engine on XRPL mainnet, their trading engine on XRPL mainnet, and then tap into advanced derivatives and other capabilities on the EVM sidechain. And those users never actually have to move their wallet or interact with the sidechain itself. So it's a very seamless experience and really allows for the best of both worlds and is made possible by Axelar and GMP. So definitely excited about that.
That's awesome. We're very excited for this partnership.
So Ripple's proprietary tech is Prisma. an intelligent liquidity router that ensures Ripple's enterprise cross-currency payment volume routes through the XRP ledgers, DEX, and AMM liquidity pools. This is the moment that everything changes, because up until then, Ripple has been subsidizing, building out RippleNet, and it seems like it's doing nothing for XRP. It's separate from XRP Ledger. And yes, it uses XRP to bridge currencies, but I hope people see now that the goal was always to pivot to the ledger, because that's where the liquidity is. These centralized exchanges, that's not where the liquidity is. That was a temporary solution to get it going and bring in network effects throughout the broader crypto space and regulated space as these blockchains matured. But now as the XRP ledger is maturing and the whole crypto layer ones are maturing and DeFi has boomed, which is an on-chain finance. That is what they're trying to drive. On-chain finance with the Internet of Value. That's what is going on here.
Thinking about liquidity more broadly speaking, one is regulatory frameworks and clarity, including for DeFi. We talked a little bit about that, so I'm not going into the weeds again. And the other one is like technology and innovation around interoperability. So we at Ripple, we have this vision of this Internet of Value. So like a world where money moves around, like information moves on the internet today. You can think of it almost like a layer on top of the internet, and just kind of like related to this question, you know, will the future of crypto trading be on centralized exchanges or decentralized exchanges? And if you think about the fundamental technology, you would want to lean towards, you know, this decentralized world, and just thinking about this vision we as a company have as well. You know, you would see a world where these networks, these value networks, are interconnected. Assets can freely flow around, and you see some of this happening with cross-chain bridges like multi-chain, all-chain recently integrated with the XRP ledger. And I think, yeah, it's pretty exciting to think about all the possibilities by connecting different value networks, and at the end, ending up in a situation where, you know, everything is tokenized. You can trade any asset against any asset, and there's going to be liquidity.
But now we have multiple protocols embedded in a network economy, which has stakeholders and users that maintain the network. So instead of a platform that Google just operates and everyone's got to be a user on it and it's controlled by one entity, we now have a neutral public utility that's controlled by nobody, that is composable and anyone can build on. And it has these native protocols that are core financial primitives that don't extract value from users. That's what's going to differentiate XRP Ledger from other blockchains, is that its value is going to be derived from all these core DeFi primitives that over the next few years will separate it from these other blockchains that focused on scaling and this and roll-ups and all that, and all these cool dApp ecosystems and block space and MEV. Meanwhile, why do I need to use that blockchain when there's 5 other blockchains that do the same thing? And this one's made slightly faster. And then you got to build the dApps all on top of it, when the core unique features are embedded into this network. And that allows you to build more composable applications and that are bridged to the legacy institutional world. And that's what Ripple and RippleX are trying to facilitate. But
there is a central limit order book DEX that lives natively on the protocol layer that applications can tap into. And the really nice thing about it is they hear okay, there's no smart contracts, therefore I can't build. The reality is there's no smart contracts, so you can actually access all the functionality that you would spend months, if not years, building with a simple API call, and it's ready to go. So you can just call NF token mint, and the developer now has an NFT on a public blockchain. So it's really powerful. A lot of use cases can be unlocked, and we're really looking to spread the word on those opportunities to developers.
It might come off like, oh, they're late to DeFi. They're just taking a different path, and this is probably the way it should have been done. And it's not a modular design, but it's not a monolithic. By creating an ecosystem of surrounding side chains, starting with the EVM sidechain, the root network, but we will see a host of XRPL protocol chains, meaning they will run the same base code as the mainnet XRP ledger, but they can have some amendments and features disabled, and they might have some new ones and additional ones. But they'll also have the same standardized AMM amendments that the mainnet has. So having standardization amongst the protocol level allows for applications then to be built across these multiple side chains, permissioned or public. And the XRP ledger doesn't need really smart contracts. Yes, it could have hooks, but hooks aren't really at the smart contract layer. They're at the layer 1. So it fits with this design. So the surrounding smart contracts provide all the complex, advanced capabilities, but the liquidity is at the center on the mainnet XRP ledger, making it the super DEX. And it'll be accessible from all side chains. And you, as a user on the XRPL mainnet, can call contracts on the EVM sidechain. If you have assets on that sidechain, you can make a function call that will lock those assets and then issue you a loan on the XRP ledger. You never even have to leave. And Crossmark wallet, you could create one account from one private key with an address on the EVM sidechain and an address on the XRP ledger derived from one private key in one wallet. ODL's on driving the price. RippleNet is getting pivoted finally to integrate directly all its products into the XRP ledger. They're trying to bring institutions on chain. The beauty of what's coming is going to be advantageous for those looking to be power users. You might have came here because you thought you were going to get moon money and the price was going to the moon. The institutions are going to adopt. London's going to light it up. They're about to flip the switch. The institutions, Shane Ellis is coming. Yoshi said $10. The buybacks, the Riddlers, the 589ers. The reality is, you get to participate at the front of the line of the new financial system.
How does the AMM integration align with Ripple's vision for the future of finance and the role of the XRP ledger in this?
Well, we've envisioned a future where financial services are inclusive, accessible, efficient, and blockchain technology and digital assets are key to us getting to that future. We've been fostering innovation, collaboration, and interoperability, and we believe AMM integration contributes to that goal of creating a more connected and efficient global financial system. By building features onto the XRP ledger, they're immediately available to pretty much everyone, everywhere who has an internet connection. Being able to, contribute to providing liquidity and participate in ways that traditionally, most people haven't been able to participate
is definitely a key part to that future of finance vision.
So our goal is to make XRPL one of the primary hubs for issuing and trading real world assets, starting with stablecoins and moving into tokenized treasuries as well. And so I think that you guys really have the reputation that's needed in order to bring on some of these TradFi institutions into the space. And then, Axelar can complementary be the distribution channel that allows users and liquidity that exist on all these other ecosystems to have access to those assets.
So if it's XRPL, who has a great reputation with an institutional audience and has a potential to really become a hub for the issuance of RWAs and become a central hub of trading, that's a unique proposition to the rest of the network. So I think we're continuing to see new innovations as application developers understand what they can do on top of GMP. And I think that the depth of liquidity that XRPL can potentially bring to this network is only going to expand these use cases and what can be built.
Yeah, definitely. Well said. And it sounds like the perfect solution to the next generation of on-chain finance and really simplifying the user experience and the depth of the markets to allow a broader adoption and broader user base. So definitely excited for that next chapter.
Between the combination of the two DEX systems to support any liquidity environment, the influx of new assets through Orchestra, we're really setting the stage to become somewhat of a liquidity hub or a central DEX across all of crypto. Especially with fast transactions, low fees. So very excited about that future state once everything is fully up and running.
So I'm Mickey B. Fresh, and I'm out.
So I was always of the mind that this system was going to be ripe for some kind of a disruption. And when I saw DeFi, I started to see where that disruption was going to come from. And I started to understand that this is going to be where it goes. And what I've tried to tell people is what you need to understand about this new DeFi system is it will start in the third world and it will grow from there in the second world, third world, and then it will come here and completely flatten you. United States, I don't see us in any way being the leader in this. I think we are it's going to be rammed down our throat is what it's going to be. And it just occurred to me that this is a brand new financial system and that this is going to replace the current C5 financial system.
You